Hello, I'm Corey with Chrysalis Goddess. Welcome to another episode of The Secrets of the Crystals. So, this is completely unedited, raw, and live. Each week is completely different. This week, what I really want to go over is the different forms to cleanse your crystals. Not everyone has a huge chunk of selenite, or um, not every crystal can go in water. So let's go over that, and then also how to set your intentions of crystals. We've just got into the new year, 2025, and there's so much new energy happening. So much new energy. So I want to uncover that and also start this live with one of my favorite mantras. Also, feel free to comment one of your favorite mantras. I think mantras are a really powerful way of moving through hard times. Maybe if you're depressed and down, it's an easy way of clearing that space out and really setting a new intention and keeping to it. And so mantras are a really powerful form of just getting what you want, manifesting and putting that energy out there. There's so many mantras. And so I'm going to share with you my favorite mantra. There's a few that I love a lot and resonate with, but there's one that I say every single day. My friends know it, my family know it. I always am saying this mantra. Okay, so I am happy, I am healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm divine, I manifest this abundance because I am aligned. If you want to say it with me, you can. There's no pressure. This is just a mantra that helps me stay aligned and stay in that mindset. I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I'm divine. I manifest this abundance because I am aligned. So, I just want to start off this live video with that and kind of shift the gears. If you're not in a positive mind shift, maybe that will help you. Just remember that we are all evolving and constantly changing. The new year has just happened, and again, all this new energy is going around. People are uncertain, everything's getting mixed up. This is the year of the snake. And what better to bring this year in with the Kundalini Hatha class? This Saturday at 1 p.m., come join me as one of my favorite friends, Alyssa, teaches us a beautiful class about Kundalini Hatha. And it's a beautiful blend to bring prosperity for the new year. So that is a $10 class. Everyone's welcome to either join in person. There's a few spots in person to come to my studio, or you can do it online on your own time. You can do it live with us, or you can again do it on your own time whenever you can do it. So that is a new option, and it's also so much fun and very awakening. Usually I get very emotional during Kundalini, and so it's very amazing opening up those feelings and kind of just releasing things to bring in the new year. So again, this is all about setting intentions and how to cleanse crystals. First off, I want to go by there is so many different ways to set an intention with crystals. You can do fire, you can do smudging, and you can do water. You can also put it on selenite. You can do moonlight. You can bury it in the mud or the dirt outside. You can put it in brown rice. Now, not everything works for every single crystal. And the one that I usually say just not, it's not my favorite unless you really know crystals really well. I don't really recommend doing water. Charging cleansing by water is one of the most dangerous ones because there's so many crystals that actually just break down in water and just aren't great for water. So if you don't know all those crystals, you could be damaging your crystal or you could be poisoning yourself in some way, especially if you're sticking your hand in there after it's charged and cleansed. And so we don't want any of that. We don't want to poison ourselves. So I always kind of tend to tell people to steer away from the water. I will tell you some that I absolutely love to put in water and that are safe. You always want to avoid fluoride, but quartz is a hard mineral, and it's completely safe to put in water. Moonstones are also safe. They're feldspar. And one of my favorite ones to put into running natural water is Loudrite. This is a Loudrite heart right here. You can't see much flash going on. It's kind of dull. But if you put it in running water, it's completely different. Like you'll see flash that you've absolutely never seen before, and it's so amazing. So I have this little bowl of water. Let me peel off the sticker so I don't get it all wet. But I have this little bowl of natural water right here. I'm just gonna put this in. Now I have well water, so this is like natural water from a spring. So I can use that, but if you have city water, you can't use that. If your water is treated in any way with like chemicals or whatever, I don't think that would work the same. It's just be natural running water, like from a lake or a stream or a river or a well. So just keep that in mind. And again, that's the one that I don't most commonly push for cleansing your crystals with because there's so many crystals that cannot go in water. Pyrite and selenite and any gypsum family, mica, which is, muscovites and biotites, all of those will disintegrate. They basically, so those are layers and layers, and so the water will get in between the layer and separate them, and that's why it's so dangerous. So if you do have a muscovite and you bought one from me, I always say make sure to keep it out of humidity so it doesn't just fall apart, because that would really be sad. One of my favorite ways, besides the selenite block, of course, because I love selenite, I mine it every year, I have a ton of it, so that's usually my go-to just because it's always there. You can do moonlight. You can't go wrong with a full moon. All crystals are okay to be out in the moon, but if you have a absolutely huge collection, it's very hard to do that. You don't want to take every single crystal outside and then bring it back in. It's just so much work. So instead of that, you can do satin spar or sage. Sage right here. So what do I do? The little burning sage. Look at how cute this is. And I just go around it. Rotate. Below and above. Just keep rotating. You'll feel an energy shift usually. It's like what I get from doing this for years is like a pop. Like it feels like a pop of energy. Your crystal's not popping, it's not breaking. It's just this energy shift. Look at that. See it just bouncing off. Moving it all around. So sage is for cleansing your space, removing any bad energy out of your house. I don't use Palo Santo. Palo Santo is more so for you, like to clear energy out of yourself. Putting the sage out because it will just burn all the way through. This is a small little bundle. I do have a bunch of little small bundles for sale. These are only like $1 to $2 for the little bundles of natural sage. Okay, so that's a really easy way too, especially if you have a lot of sage. That is okay to do with any crystal at all. And so it's really easy to do. Now you want to be very careful. You want to make sure that you have, safety. You're not burning it over papers or anywhere where you could potentially start a fire. You want to be really, really safe with it. Don't want to leave burning sage unsupervised ever. The same goes with candles. You don't want to leave those unsupervised. That's a recipe for disaster, so don't do it. So there's also sunlight. Sunlight can charge your crystals. That being said, sunlight can also dull your crystals. And if you've been with me long enough, then you already know what can dull your crystals and what cannot. Rose quartz is a good example right here. This baby in full day sunlight will fade quite fast. So don't ever put rose quartz in all day sunlight. I always recommend not for the window if you're getting the most sunlight in that window, especially. And if you do have rose quartz in your car, which I mean, everyone probably does, it's needed. It's unconditional love. Just make sure that you have a sun visor up and you do take those precautions to where it's not always in sunlight because it will fade. It will fade very fast. Another one that fades very fast is fluorite. Is sunlight my favorite for charging cleansing crystals? Not really, because there's so many. There's such a list of crystals I could give you that are not great for full day sunlight. And basically, if you charge in the sunlight, you want to charge a whole entire day in the sun. You want it to be hot and really, really warm, full of the sun's energy, which is great for quartz. But that being said, clear quartz only. Clear quartz can sometimes reflect light and actually burn holes in upholstery, so curtains or car interiors. So you do want to also be really cautious with quartz. So sunlight is not my top go-through for cleansing crystals because there's so many possibilities of it not being the best outcome. All right, next one that is one of my favorites, and if you have one that is great, you can use a Tibetan singing bowl to charge and cleanse your crystals. You don't necessarily have to put your crystal inside. That would take forever. You can actually go around your space if you have like a cabinet or shelves like these, and you can go around and you can do the singing bowl and just kind of go all the way around the room and do your singing bowl, and that will help charge and amplify their energy and cleanse them. If you don't have a Tibetan singing bowl, which is the metal ones, you can also use a crystal singing bowl. Those are just a lot harder to carry around and a lot more fragile to just be carrying around and doing that with. So I don't recommend a singing bowl that's a crystal one because I've broken them and they are quite expensive and that's not ideal in any way. But a metal bowl you can drop and you won't break. It might get out of tune, but you can fix it. So that's another way. Then there's also burying it in brown rice. I don't have any brown rice. I've done this a few times with really dark, bad energy and things for crystals, and it has worked, but after I took it out for a month, and stayed there for a month, it felt much better, but it still needed to be charged. So it definitely was cleansed, but it still needed to be charged. Now I took it out after that month. I didn't put it back in to see if it would charge, but I just charged it on some selenite. So for me, I don't use brown rice that often. It's a good option though, because it doesn't really hurt your crystals. If you do have like a lot of crevices and stuff like that, it could get in, brown rice could get in there and possibly get stuck. That's not great. And then burying it. You can go outside and bury it. I really only recommend this if it's like a dark energy, like if somebody gifted you a crystal and it just feels very off and just not great, go and bury it outside. It will take about a month, possibly more, to actually get fully charged and cleansed, but when you pop that out in a month, it will be charged and cleansed, unlike the brown rice, which just didn't really it did cleanse it, but it didn't charge it for me. Rainwater is also a great thing if you collect rainwater. If you don't have like a running stream or any, running natural water near you, collecting rainwater is another great option. Again, you want to be careful because there's a lot of crystals that can't be in water. All right, so I'll be right back after this break and after this commercial break, and I want to go over a little bit more stuff on how to charge and cleanse. There's so many different ways, and then how to set intentions because it's so much fun. All right, see you soon.
I've made my decisions. We're just saying this. It's my soul. Hey, subtle, not weak, don't drown. Rocking the stream, don't drown.
Okay, welcome back. So we went over all the different methods of charging, cleansing them. You can pass them through, well, actually I didn't go over this one. You can pass them through candlelight if you do wish to do so. So you could also do a light like this, like just from a lighter. You can do what you did with sage and go around and cleanse it that way. It's definitely not that safe, so I don't recommend that one either. But you can also do a candle, which I also don't recommend that often because it's also dangerous. But you can do the same thing as sage, where you kind of just rotate, or you can place a really tall burning candle, a tall flame, next to a tower, and that will do the same thing. But how to set intentions with crystals? Like many elements of the craft, crystals work best when you tell them what to do. So it's really important to set the intentions of your crystals. Now, there's so many healing properties for each crystal, right? Rose quartz, unconditional love. It's going to give you that love and that nurturing guidance. It can help raise your self-esteem and your confidence. It could bring a twin flame or a love connection or deepen a love that you already have. It can also help remove blockages in your heart. What do you need the most out of that? Do you need it all? Then great, set all those intentions. But if you need just a few of those or just one, that will really move things along and really help you harness what you really need, get down to the nitty-gritty. Like all crystals, there's several healing properties for each crystal, but what do you really need? For rhodonite, if you have arthritis, then set the intention to help heal your arthritis. Yes, there's also creativity, and you can also do all of these other things, but setting your intention to that one thing will really help move through. The cool thing is you can set, so if you have a bunch of different rhodonites, you can set different intentions for each one for the healing properties of rhodonite. So say you have fibromyalgia, set your intention for the sphere. If you have arthritis, set your intention for a tower or whatever you want to do so. And then so you have all those rhodonites and they're all at different intentions, They're all healing you on what you need. That's why I'm always like, you never have enough crystals because you can set intentions for different ones. And then that day, if your arthritis is really bad, grab that tower. Or if your fibromyalgia is really bad, grab that sphere. So it's really cool how you can like set intentions and talk to them. You can talk to them. You can tell them what to do in a nice way. Of course, you don't want to be like demanding, be like intense. But so the best way to program your crystal is what I call it, setting the intention, programming your crystal, is to talk to them, chant or whisper your intentions. So rose quartz. Here's an example. I want to raise my self-confidence. As an example, so I'm going to, and I always cup with my palms, cup right here. I'm raising my self-worth, 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 raising my self-worth. And then just let that energy from your hands pour into there. Pour in. And it's like a, kind of like how I said earlier, when you sage a crystal, you kind of feel that pop sensation. When you do that, you feel this whole, like this crystal is insanely hot. You feel the heat, you feel the energy in the crystal, like it's awakened and like so ready to help raise your self-worth. And so I will charge and cleanse this because this is for sale. This is not mine. I should have grabbed one of mine, but this is for sale. So it will be charged and cleansed to set your intentions. And that is one of the main things that I always do. When you get a crystal, it's actually fully charged and cleansed. I have absolutely huge pieces of selenite all over my desk for shipping. And so your crystal will be charged and cleansed and ready to go. So when you open that box, you can do just what I did. Set its intentions. So after you charge and cleanse your crystals at home, that's when you can set your intentions. You don't want to do that beforehand because when you charge and cleanse it, it's kind of like a reset on your crystals. So keep that in mind. Every time you reset and you charge and you cleanse, you've got to also go through and set your intentions again. You can also bless or anoint them. You can do it by candlelight, like I said, or you can dress them with herbs and oils, like I do with the Candleberg class. If you've taken it, you know it's so much fun. But you can also do that with crystals. Set the intentions with what oils and herbs you're using to manifest what you need. Set your intentions. Programming your crystals is the most powerful way to achieve what you need. And a lot of people are like, oh, my crystal's not working. And I usually say, did you program it? Did you set that intention? Because if not, it's helping you in so many different ways, but maybe not directly on that one thing that you need. So that's why it's pretty important. Then you can also write down, and I'm always an advocate for having a book and taking notes. Take as many notes as you can because it's so crucial. We are our own scientists, and that is very, very powerful for him to look back on and reread those notes and compare and contrast. And so take those notes and write down. So I just did this with my rose quartz, well, a rose quartz palm stone. So in my notes, I would write down the big rose quartz palm stone. I set the intentions. I always date things. You don't have to date them, but I think it's ideal to date them just so you know, oh, maybe I charged and cleansed them before and or during this period I didn't set my intention again. So date it and then put when you charged and cleansed it, which preferably is the same day. And then what intentions did you set with that? What did you program that crystal for? So there, again, And you can also Google healing properties. I also have the PDF form free on my website for all the healing properties of crystals that I went through and studied for years and years. I also put affirmations for both of them, or all the crystals. So that is up there for free on the website. Just free information to help you guys better understand things. And then you can take one aspect that really pulls to you from that crystal and set the intentions. Now, if you don't understand what I meant by throwing that energy from your hands into the crystals, and you don't feel like you have that energy, or you're like, I don't know, I've never felt that before. Actually, I'm gonna go check my comments. Here's a way. So, you know how you rub your hands together? Try this right now if you can. Rub your hands together as fast as you can. Your hands will heat up. They'll feel warm. Just keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Faster. And it's gonna be really crazy because you'll feel this pull when you slightly start pulling apart. You feel the pull. You feel your hands want to go right back to each other. You warmed up your hands, you warmed up your energy. And there's still a pull. If there isn't a pull, you better do that longer, because there's definitely a pull for everyone. You can take that energy, you can do so many different things. If you've never heard of it, there's a thing called an energy ball, where you kind of just go into a ball formation. You never break the ball. You just go into a ball formation and you create a energy ball. This is another cool way. We all have this energy inside of us. Usually people call it the Reiki energy, but we all have this energy. So we just create this ball. Again, we don't want to break into it. Just go over it. Never breaking into this ball of energy. Now I have no one to give this ball of energy to, so I'm going to give it to you guys. Usually, it's funny, I taught my kids how to do this. So, hi Ashley. So, they could give me some of their energy. And it's amazing how it works. So you're just putting your energy into this sphere form. I always support the underneath of it. Woo. So we all have that energy inside of us. So if you're like, well, I don't really feel that energy, I don't feel that heat pouring out of my hands, you might not realize that, but we actually all have that energy, and you do. And you can have that happen. And basically, if you close your eyes and you envision like beams of light literally pouring out of your palms, like going down your arms and out your palms, it's like that psh, white light energy just pouring on out. We all have it. And that is a really easy way to, not only can you actually charge your crystals that way, you can actually do it that way as well. You can charge and cleanse your crystals with Reiki energy, which is that energy which I just described. You can set your intentions. So just set this one to self-worth, self-love. Where's my Loudrite? Going back to the Loudrite. So I showed you guys earlier, there was almost no flash at all in this Loudrite, and this is fresh running water. And I told you that Loudrite's one of the most coolest ones. Charging, cleansing, and fresh running water. Let me wipe it down. And let's see. Let's see if the light can catch any flash. Oh, I saw it for a second. It's very hard to do it this way. Let's see. a little, oh, yep. It's like upside down. I don't know where I'm turning this, but that is a really fun way. If you do have like a natural running water near you and you have labradorite, that's one of the coolest ones because when you pull it out, you see colors that you've never even seen before in your labradorite. I did this with a bracelet once and it was such a dull labradorite and I was always like, oh, maybe it just doesn't have that much flash. And I put it in a running stream, maybe for like a minute because I was a little bit worried I was gonna like have it run down the stream. So I pulled it out and then all of a sudden there was rainbows I've never seen before and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool." Again, you don't want to do this with a lot of crystals, so I don't recommend, you know, putting crystals in running water unless you know that they are safe in water. So you have to understand the crystal's energy and why you're drawn to crystals. Each crystal has completely different energy. Each crystal has different healing properties, different vibrations. Each crystal shape has a different way of putting that energy out there in the world. So there's so much to understand, and there's so many different ways to harness a crystal's energy and set your intentions and program crystals and charge and cleanse crystals. And so, if you ever have any questions at all, feel free to message me. I'm here 24/7. Although I do go to sleep at night, but I can message you in the morning. So just message me if you ever have questions, if you think maybe my crystal's fake, anything at all, feel free to reach out to me. That being said, I think we're wrapping up this episode of Crystallized Goddess, These Secrets of the Crystals. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I'm on all those platforms. If you want to watch the episodes of this show series in order, it is on YouTube. And that is just, my YouTube is just specifically going to be for this TV series, this show series right here. So nothing's going to get in the way of that. So all the episodes are up. Each one is completely different. All of them are fun and amazing. And next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is another one. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm excited and I cannot wait to teach you guys something else. This week's schedule has just been posted for the live video week. I know a lot of people haven't been getting notifications. I'm going to be live tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a regular live video. I do teach things during those live videos as well, but there are also crystals that are for sale. So check that out. If you have not, check out all the bands that I did the commercial for today. There's Jeremy Nelson. He's on Spotify. He's got a Linktree. Absolutely amazing. Then there's Truth Decay. They're on Spotify. They're everywhere. And yes, don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you for that comment. Subscribe and like to my channel. It will help me so much. Again, check out the YouTube. The YouTube is Crystallized Goddess. And like all my pictures or my videos, like everything. It will help me. Thank you guys so much for joining me on another episode of Crystallized Goddess, The Secrets of the Crystals. See you next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye!